I'm good, thank you.
All right, I'm just going to start the recording. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for all of your activity in the group, Cheryl, as well. And Laura, you guys have been showing up, marking off all of your tasks and reading the lessons. I hope so far in the week one. I know week one was I'm gonna say a little intense because it really made you dig into yourself, who you are, what you stand for, what your goals are. And I know it was very revealing for a lot of us. Anytime I sit and do introspect or intro work, it's like, whew, that is deep. But it is the very thing that is needed to start this fitness journey so that you can actually understand what your goals are and you really supercharge it with why this matters to you. Because we know that it is so easy to get distracted, it's so easy to fall off. It's so easy just to give into our feelings and be like, "Oh, I don't feel like doing this today, so I'm just not going to do it." But deciding your why, determining your why, that deep rooted reason within your body and soul. And a lot of times, honestly, it's the things that we don't say to other people. It's the things that we don't say. Like it's like, oh, why do you want to lose weight? Oh, I just want to lose weight, or I just want to fit, wear what I want to wear. I hear that a lot. But if you really sit and take the time to think about it, it's much deeper than the clothes. It's much deeper than anything on the surface. It's typically the things that you're not saying, it's the things that no one else can see. It's those deep rooted feelings and reasons within you. Like that thought of, for me, it was like that thought of, like, I just want to be around for my children. Like if I keep going this way, I don't know. It's that little thought in my head that's like, I won't say that really to anyone else, really. I would just say, oh, I just want to, I want to wear that crop top or I want to wear that dress or something like that. So thank you so much for being vulnerable and really taking the time to pour in to yourselves and really realize, what this journey is about because it is in fact a journey. All right. Okay. So I wanted to just kind of make this an informal chat because we're going to get into nutrition all next week. Actually, for the next 2 weeks, it's all about nutrition. But I want to start with just some basic things and figure out what track you guys are on. So I know some of you guys are following a healthy plate method, and I know some of you guys have already been tracking your food as well. So I kind of just want to meet you where you are today because it's the weekend. And this is the time where we prep our meals and do our grocery shopping and really just prepare for a successful week ahead. And I want to make sure that, if you have any questions about, should I do this? Should I do that? What's the best way to do this? Am I on track by doing that? And I'm here to answer that question, okay? But I will say to start with I'm sure you guys know why nutrition is so important. It will literally make or break your progress. One, so if you have a goal, and let's say your goal is weight loss, if you are eating more calories than your body needs for weight loss, then you will not lose weight. It's very black and white. Um, or if your goal is to burn fat, you need to make sure that you are in a caloric deficit and that you are actually, eating a lot of protein to support muscle growth. So I know our goals here vary. Some of us want to lose weight, some of us just want to be healthier, just, increase vitality. So I want to, if you have questions about your specific goals, I'm here to answer it. But at the end of the day, regardless of what your aesthetic goal is, we have to be healthy, right? So that you can move through your days, not being in pain, not being bloated, not being fatigued, not having reactions to, poor food quality like acne and lack of sleep. And of course, poor nutrition we know leads to other health complications. And I want to encourage you to start making those healthier decisions today. Every day, 1% better. Having that awareness about food will truly open your eyes and make you realize where you may have actually been going wrong this whole time, you know? So when you actually learn about the power of nutrition, when you actually learn how to read these nutrition labels, you'll be like, oh my God, I had no idea that I was consuming that much. I had no idea that it was that much sugar in it. And then again, if you already have pre-existing health conditions, some of these foods that we are eating, a lot of, I'm gonna say a lot of them because the American diet honestly is horrible. You really have to search high and low to make sure that you are picking the good quality food and that you are actually understanding what's in the foods that you're consuming. But all to say is that some foods, a lot of foods will actually exacerbate whatever symptoms you are already having. So to be aware of what you're eating can greatly increase your health and well-being, okay? So a good place to start is, what is your goal? What's your health goal? Is it weight loss? Is it weight maintenance? Is it weight gain? At the core of it, if your goal is weight loss, it means that you need to be eating in a caloric deficit. Now, I will put a link in the chat. Let me grab it. And then you're going to see this in your lesson next week. So some of the stuff I'm saying today, you're going to see it again next week. But you have to figure out what your BMR is. So I'm going to put a BMR calculator in here. Let me go find it. What did I do with that BMR calculator? 1 second. I'm going to put a BMR calculator in here. And then based on that BMR calculator, once you put in your age, your weight, your height, and your activity level, it's going to tell you how many calories your body needs per day in order for you to just survive. Now, your BMR is your basal metabolic rate. That means it's the amount of calories your body needs per day to just survive, for your organs to run. You could be a couch potato. You're not doing nothing. You're just sitting. Let's say, for instance, you were just sitting home all day and you weren't exerting any other energy, but your body still needs calories to survive and to run. That is your BMR, okay? And those are calories that we need.
On my camera, they're on. My name camera.
Sorry, is that a question? I'm trying to find this. I guess, oh, someone must have their, who do I need?
I'm sorry.
Okay, all right. So I'm putting this in a chat. There's the BMR calculator. If you grab that, if you click on the BMR calculator, it's going to ask you to put your height, your weight, your age, your gender, and I want you to select Oxford. Okay, so if you can right now, if it's not too much to multitask, you can go ahead and calculate your BMR or you can wait. Okay, so with that BMR number that you get, again, that is the amount of calories your body needs to survive. A lot of times we'll see that, oh man, the amount of calories that I'm actually eating per day, if you are tracking your food, is below the BMR. So if you're eating a 1100, 1200, 1300 calorie diet, even 1400, you will see that you are eating below your BMR, and that is extremely dangerous. Okay. So I know that we may think that eating less equals more weight loss, but if you eat too low in calories daily, then you're actually setting yourself up for um, failure in a way, because your body is going to not respond because it's under too much stress. So, for instance, if your BMR says it is 1420 calories, right? When you calculate, you put all your information in. 1420 calories. But you know that and that's your BMR. Again, that's your baseline. You need that to just survive. It does not account for any workouts you're doing. It don't account for your daily steps. It doesn't account for any other activities. No daily living activities like up and down your steps, washing clothes, etc. That's just what you need to survive. If you're eating below that number, then you are not even giving your body the amount of calories it needs to survive. So if your goal is weight loss, you are asking your body to release weight when you are not even giving it what it needs to function daily, to function optimally. So all I have to say is, that you have to make sure that you are eating above your BMR, okay? Because we have to consider what's our BMR calories? That's step one. Step two is now what is my activity? What is my activity level? All right. So let's say, for instance, let me see, I might have it already up and I'm going to try to share my screen. For instance, if you are a sedentary person, let's say you don't do anything, and I know all you guys are very active. But let's say you are a sedentary person. Sedentary means that you are getting under 5,000 steps a day. Okay. So let me say that again. Sedentary means you are getting under 5,000 steps a day. You're considered sedentary. Even if you are kind of like moving around the office or moving around at work, if you're under 5K, you are still considered sedentary. So what you do is you take your BMR, and again, you're gonna get this step by step next week. I'm kind of just jumping the gun so you understand. Take your BMR and you're gonna times it by 1.2. So for instance, if my BMR is 1500 and I take 1500 and I times it by 1.2, let me tell you what that gives me. 1500 times 1.2. That means 1800 calories is my new calorie goal because 1800 calories supports my activity level. Okay. So that's step two. Step one, what is your BMR? Step two, what is my activity level? So I'm going to type it in the group just so that you guys can try to figure out what your activity level may be. So let me type it in the chat. Do. 1 second. Okay. If you are sedentary, that means that you have under 5K steps a day and you have little to no activity. So I'm put little to no activity and under 5K steps. So that's the number that you would use once to times it by your BMR, okay? 1.2. If you are lightly active, that means that you exercise between 1 to 3 times per week for at least 30 minutes, okay? That means your steps are around under 7K. So then you would use the number 1.37, and this means you are lightly active. ACTIVE, and you are under 7K steps daily. That's the number you would use to multiply by your BMR. And wait, I meant to add in, you have 1 to 3 days. 1 to 3 days of light activity per week. Okay. That's the number you would use, 1.37. If you are moderately active, that means you are exercising between 3 to 5 days per week. And you are at 10K steps daily. Okay. So that number is 1.55. You take your BMR, you would times it by 1.55. This means that you exercise 3 to 5 days a week. That means like strength training, 3 to 5 days a week for at least 30 minutes, 30 minutes or more. This is considered moderately active, and then you are hitting a 10K step goal daily. Okay. So those are the three. Anything beyond that is a 1.72. That's very active, and that's usually for like athletes. So if anyone here is an athlete, please let me know. At that rate, you would need a higher activity level. But these are the three that, I mean, I don't really train athletes. So these are the three activity levels that are frequent. You're either sedentary, just starting out, not getting much movement in, under 5K steps a day. That would put you at a 1.2 activity level. If you are lightly active, like, okay, I get about 7K steps a day, and I do exercise anywhere from 1 to 3 times a week for at least 30 minutes, that would be a 1.37, meaning that you are lightly active. And then moderately active is 1.55 activity level, and that means that you are working out anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week, strength training for at least 30 minutes, and you are hitting a 10K step goal daily on average, okay? So you can do it now or you can do it later, but you will find your BMR. You will use that calculator I put up there, put in your information. It's going to tell you what your BMR is, and then you take that number and then you times it or multiply it by which one you think apply, which one best fits your current activity level. Not the activity level that you desire to have. We'll get there. Where are you at currently is what you need to know. Okay. So what's going to happen is you're going to get those calories, right? So let's say for me, this is just a hypothetical number. I calculated my BMR is at 1500, right? Then let's say I'm sedentary, so I'm timesing it by 1.2 because that's what resonates with me and where I am currently. When I do 1500, my BMR times 1.2, my activity level, I get my TDEE. That is my total daily expenditure, activity expenditure. Means that that's my BMR plus how active I am. This is how much calories I should be consuming based on my BMR and how active I am because I need to eat enough food to accommodate to support my body to function optimally plus to support my current activity. All right. So that puts me at 1800 calories. So if I'm eating 1800 calories, that means I will not gain or lose any weight. Those are called maintenance calories. If I eat 1800 calories every day, I'm not going to gain weight and I'm not going to lose weight. If I wanted to lose weight, now I need to put myself in a slight caloric deficit, means I need to subtract calories. Okay. So what you would do from there, and again, you'll see this on Tuesday's lesson. I just kind of want to run through Tuesday's lesson because I know it can be a tad bit confusing. From there, you want to just start attracting calories. So a slight deficit will be 10%. A very aggressive deficit will be 20% or 25 at the max. So you always want to start off with a slight deficit and see how your body responds to it. Because again, if you go too far into a deficit, if you go so far and put yourself in a so far in a deficit and it is right at or under your BMR calories, then you are setting yourself up for weight loss to stall, come to a halt, plateau, because you're eating too close to the BMR calories. Okay. So just to give you, just for instance, if I was doing 1500 calories, 1800 calories is my TDEE, that's my maintenance calories. And I only want to go into a 10% deficit. So I'm doing 1800 times 10%. That puts me at 1620 calories. That is my calorie goal if I want to lose weight. Those are my deficit calories. 1620. They are above 120 calories above my BMR, so that's fine as long as it's above the BMR. If I were to put myself in a 20% deficit, I would have probably been at my BMR or lower. So that's why it's important for those who may have been eating super low in calories. It may have worked initially, especially if you were coming from eating like overeating. If you're coming from overeating and you cut your calories, you will lose weight, even if it's significantly low, like 1,000, 1,200. You will lose weight. But after some time, maybe a month, maybe 2 months, you will hit a plateau. Your body will stop progressing. It will stop responding to weight loss because then it goes into what you've probably heard like a starvation mode, which simply just means that your body is not in a place to actually lose weight because you are under too much stress. You're not giving your body enough calories it even needs to survive, let alone you are asking me to drop weight. So we're going to hold on to all the weight because I don't know when I'm going to eat again. Your body is very smart, and that's what happens. So I don't know where everyone's coming in, what your current calorie count is if you are counting calories, but you definitely want to make sure that we are taking advantage of calculating your BMR and understanding where you should be for your goals. A lot of us will probably realize that you have been chronically under eating, and that's the reason why you are not dropping weight despite all your efforts, despite how much activity you do, and despite maybe you say, you know what, let me drop them a little bit lower, thinking it's going to work, and it doesn't, and you're like, oh my gosh, why is it not working? It's because your body is under too much stress and you need to be eating more to accommodate your BMR, what your body needs to function, also to accommodate your daily activity. Okay. For those who are interested in tracking macros, and I don't want to jump the gun because we're all at different places. Tracking your macros is not necessary. Macros, that's the makeup of the food. That's protein, carbs, and fats. Tracking your calories, though, at the very least, is ideal because you can be eating healthy, right? You can be eating healthy and still be obese, right? You can be eating healthy and still gain weight because it's really all about how much calories your body needs for the goal that you have for yourself. I can be overeating and I can, if my calories, my deficit calories is 1,620, which I just calculated at a 10% deficit. My calorie goal is 1,620 a day. I'm in a caloric deficit, right? But let's say I don't have really any awareness. I'm not paying attention to the calories. I'm just eating all healthy food all day. And all that healthy food all day still comes up to 1,700 and 50 calories or 1,900 calories in all healthy foods. Just because it's healthy food doesn't mean I'm going to lose weight. Those numbers matter. Like I need to be eating 1,620 calories in healthy foods. Does that make sense? Even if I'm eating 1,800 calories in healthy foods, but 1,800 calories is more calories than my body needs to lose weight, I'm still not going to lose weight because I'm over my threshold for weight loss for that calorie goal, okay? If that makes sense. Anyone have any questions so far, just so I can bring clarity before I move on, because I know this is kind of mathy, and I do have it all spelled out in your lesson on, I think it's on Tuesday, which is titled Determining Your Caloric Needs. But just wanted to give you guys some perspective on how this works, how calories in, calories out works. So any questions in regards to that so far? And you can come off mute or you can ask me in the chat. Let me know. Nope. Okay. All right. So moving on from there. Does raise your hand if you know how to use a food scale. Well, let's say read a nutrition label. Do you know how to, do you guys feel confident in reading a nutrition label? Yes. Cheryl, what about you, Bonnie? Yes, awesome. Laura, Puneet, Clarine, everybody? No? Okay. All right. So I have, and I'm going to put this in your resource file since we have someone who's not quite sure. And it is confusing at first. You're like, what are these numbers? What's going on with these numbers? I am going to share my screen with you guys. And let me make sure it comes up on the right. 1 second. Let me make sure I have it. Reading a nutrition label. I'm going to share my screen. Like I said, I just recorded this video for you guys, and I will put it in your resource file so that you always have access to it. Share. Okay. Can you guys see my YouTube screen here? Yeah. All right. So, nutrition label. How to read a nutrition label. Let me pull this over. Can you guys hear it? Okay, so today we're going to learn how to read a nutrition label. All right. And this is super important because reading a nutrition label allows you to make informed choices about what you're actually consuming. It's also going to allow you to control your portion sizes. You're going to find the nutrient breakdowns. You're also going to be able to determine if there's any unhealthy additives. And of course, if you are tracking your macros, this is a must. So when reading a nutrition label, you see here are the nutrition facts. This says that 1 serving is equal to a half cup. So everything that you see in this label, from calories to total fat to sodium, carbohydrates, protein, it's all found in only a half cup. Now, if you were to have more than a half cup of this oatmeal, then you need to double each of these numbers here, okay? This also shows you the serving size in grams. So a half cup is equal to 45 grams. So if you were to weigh this oatmeal on a scale and you only wanted one serving, you make sure that you are only weighing out 45 grams, okay? So let's just break this down. What this says that in a half cup or 45 grams, you're getting 170 calories. In this half cup, you're getting 2.5 total grams of fat. You're getting 31 grams of carbohydrates. You're getting 4 grams of fiber, 1 gram of sugar, and 6 grams of protein. Now, again, this is in just the serving size of half a cup. Now, say, for instance, you wanted to have a whole cup, then you would have to double each of these numbers. If you wanted a cup and a half, then you triple the numbers. Make sense? So this is a way that you look at a nutrition label to determine exactly how much of everything you can have. Now, you will only know that if you're tracking your macros, but this is just a quick tutorial on what to look out for in your nutrition labels. Another thing is this shows you that inside of this whole batch of oatmeal, it should equal to be about 18 servings, okay? All right, so that's your nutrition label. Food scale, is there anyone, stop sharing my screen for a second. Is there anyone here who is using a food scale currently to track their food? Because I think I had a few people who were. You are, Cheryl? Okay. Cheryl, do you have any questions about, am I still sharing my screen? Second. Did I stop sharing my screen? No. How do I stop sharing my screen? Oh, stop sharing. Ding dong. Okay, thank you. Do you have any questions, Cheryl, about using a food scale? I also have those videos, and I'll go ahead and put the link in the chat for that. Do you have any questions about using your food scale, how to use it accurately? Awesome. Okay, anyone else? Bonnie, are you using the food scale? Kind of, sort of.
Sometimes we had the conversation about it after I had already like meal prepped stuff for 5 days.
Mhm.
So obviously I wasn't going to go back and weigh my ingredients at that point.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
But I'm using it for stuff that I can going forward.
Okay, all right. Is anyone, when are you tracking your macros, Cheryl? Are you tracking macros or are you just tracking calories? Or are you just tracking for food awareness to kind of see what it totals out to be at the end of the day?
I'm tracking calories and macros, but
Okay.
actually I feel like I'm going over my macro, like my certain macros a little bit,
Mhm.
but staying within the calorie deficit.
Okay. Okay.
So I'm trying to like
Balance it.
balance everything. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here's my best advice for that. And I'm not sure if you are tracking your food as you go throughout the day. Like as you eat something, you track it, you eat something, you track it, you eat something, you track it, and at the end of the day, you like, darn it, I just did not meet the mark with protein today. Or, it's just imbalance. Okay, I stayed in my calorie range, but I have so much protein left, or I have so much of this left, or dang, I really completely went over in one of these macros. You're going to drive yourself crazy trying to track meal by meal all throughout the day. The best way to be successful when you are tracking your food is to already know what you have access to, right? So you need to go into macros first or MyFitnessPal, log your whole entire day of eating up front. You know what you have access to for breakfast. You know what you have for lunch, dinner, snacks, things that you enjoy or things you've already shopped for. Go into your app and log your whole day because you really don't know how much of everything you can have or you should have until you go in there and log at least one serving of it, and then you see what you're left with. Like, okay, I logged my breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. Man, I am still left with 20 grams of protein. So that means that, let's say, go to your lunch. Okay, I'm having chicken breast for lunch. I put in 4 ounces. Let me adjust this to 5 ounces. Okay, cool. Now I have only 15 grams of protein left. Let me do the same thing with dinner. Let me go in and take and make it 6 ounces at dinner. And you're like, okay, cool. I only got 2 grams of protein left. But to go, it's like a game of Tetris, honestly. To go in there, put all your food in, and then play around with the numbers. And then once you have gotten pretty close to reaching those macro numbers, and I always say within 10 grams. So if your protein goal is 130, you got to 120. Cool. That's great. Same thing for all the other macros, carbs and fats. If your goal is 60 for fats, but you got the 50, cool. If you know what I'm saying? So as long as you're close. But that way, if you eat what you already have logged, you're not thinking about food all day. You're not worried about like, oh my God, at the end of the night, am I going to be completely over or under somewhere? Because you already know, you already tracked your whole day up front. That is hands down the best way to be successful when you are tracking your food. Even if you were just for now, because I know macros can feel daunting, it's a lot to learn. But if you spend like 2 weeks with it, it'll be like clockwork. But if you were at least tracking your calories, I would still do the same thing. Go in there, play around with the serving size, reach your calorie goal. If it's weight loss, reach your deficit calorie goal, and then just eat what you already have logged. If you're doing macros, play around with log your whole entire day, play around with the numbers, and if you get pretty damn close to your macro goals, eat what you already have logged. That way, you already know. If you eat what you got logged, you did it. You don't have to use no more brain power with it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's great. I need to work on that, prepping and knowing what I'm going to eat for the day, as
Yes.
opposed to going along and tracking as
Yeah.
I eat.
Because it's exhausting too to think about what you're going to eat all day, every minute. And then hoping, praying, and wishing that at the end of the day, it just somehow you had a unicorn day and it just miraculously worked. Yeah.
That
So,
makes sense about the, like everybody talks about the food noise
hmm,
and about constantly thinking about what you're going to eat at your next meal or what you're going to have. And I just had this conversation with my husband about how that's all I do
yeah.
lately is think about what I'm going to eat. So it makes sense to prep and put everything in the app, and then you don't have to think.
Yep, leave it alone.
Yeah.
You gotta think because that right there was something in the beginning. It became very obsessive, and it takes so much of your energy. And honestly, it's just kind of like a domino effect on a lot of things. Like I got obsessive with a lot of things, and I always felt like I wasn't doing enough. And then mentally, emotionally, you feel like you're not enough. And then also it affects relationships around you too. Because like, okay, Crystal is always obsessed with what she's eating. She can't enjoy food with the family. She's not having ice cream with her kids, things like that. It becomes too much, and then that can make someone just throw in a towel and say, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to eat whatever. And whatever happens, happens. So to kind of just, make things easier, that is by far the best way. If you know what you're going to have, log it all up front, meet the goal inside the app to the best as you can. And if you're having a hard time meeting it, that's why I'm here. I'm here. I'm a certified macro coach. I can look at your logs, especially if you're using macros first. I can on my end look and see what you're eating, and I can send you a voice memo like, hey, Cheryl, try to adjust this and that. Maybe we can balance it out a little bit more if we go that route. So I'm here for that. Like, I really want you guys in these 8 weeks to get the very most out of this coaching experience. Okay. So even though we're in this as a group, you still have plenty of opportunity to have some one-on-one with me so that I can help get you on track. Because it's exhausting. It's a lot to put together in this journey, right? What do I eat? How do I exercise? Aligning our habits and our behaviors and our mindset, making sure we're having a healthy mindset around it. It's a lot. Yeah, I know it because I've been through it. I go through it, but I was never an athlete. I didn't come into this journey very thin. I didn't grow up in a very health conscious family where, we had a whole bunch of healthy foods around all the time, and that was just the way I learned to eat. I had to rewire my brain a lot of ways, and most of us do have to rewire our brains. in a lot of ways when it comes to how we choose to eat, what triggers us. Then we learned about the habit loops yesterday, what triggers us to eat certain foods or to binge, and how do we just kind of rewire that? How do we do something different? Okay. So yep, I'm here for you, each of you guys, whatever you need. All right, so that's the best thing to do for nutrition, or for macros. Also, I will say it's a good way to plan, and I put it's in your resource file. It's in, and I'll pull it out, and I will pull out individually. But when I go grocery shopping, I do a macro focused grocery shop. Okay. So what that means is, since I don't have it up now, I make a list. I put protein, I do a list for protein, I do a list of carbs, I do a list of fats, and of course we have like miscellaneous things. I think about, before I go grocery shopping, what I want to eat. Okay. So it might, honestly, it stays the same for the most part. I might switch out like a protein here and there. I'm so simple. I don't enjoy cooking. So I try to make things as simple as possible. But I think about at least 2 to 3 protein options that I know I do enjoy. So I'm shopping for the food I know I enjoy. I always get shrimp, frozen shrimp, because I pop it in the air fryer, put a little bit of oil on it, season it up, pop it in the air fryer, and I swear it comes out like the best. And so if you have an air fryer and you have a rice cooker and you have a crock pot, those are staples. A lot of my foods I cook at the same time. I'll pop something in the air fryer, something on, and put the rice in the rice cooker, and put something else on the stove or in the oven. I try to cook all my proteins at the same times. So I always do shrimp. I typically would do salmon, like I shop at Audi too. So like a coho salmon, to me, that's my favorite. So I get those two. And then I just always have chicken because my kids love chicken. Let me get a better pen. So I'll do that. Those are my top 3 protein choices for this week. Now for carbs, I always do sweet potatoes. Because I have a rice cooker, I always do some type of rice. So I'll do like a brown rice. Brown rice. And what else do I do? I love oatmeal for breakfast. So you see, I'm literally just making a list of the things that I enjoy. I always do egg whites. So I'll buy a carton of eggs or egg whites. And I'm just running through the stuff that I enjoy eating. I love avocado toast. So I do buy like a raisin bread, or I buy like a wheat bread or something like that. That goes under carbs. So I'll buy my, right now I'm hooked on my raisin bread. So I'll put raisin bread here. I love avocado. That goes with my raisin bread. So I put avocado here. I buy like the little small things of guacamole. So you see what I'm doing? I'm thinking about what I like to eat, and I'm just categorizing it as, okay, that's the protein to go with the meal. That's the carb that goes with the meal. That's the fat that goes with the meal. If it's a salad, I know I'm doing veggies. That'll just go into my miscellaneous. I'll just write salad mix here under miscellaneous. I use oil or well, it's like an oil and vinegar based dressing, like a house dressing. If I look on the back of the nutrition label, it is mainly made of, the calories come from fat. So that will go underneath fats for my salad dressing. Okay. So and some of the stuff I have, and some of the stuff I have to re-up on weekly. And then what I'm doing from here is I say, okay, now I'm writing my menu for the week. Breakfast. What am I having for breakfast? And I'm like, okay, I'm having eggs with the raisin bread, with the fats, and I write that down, and I go and I put that into the app. That's what I'm having, and I just give myself 1 serving of it just to start. What am I having for lunch? I'm probably going to use the shrimp and put it with sweet potatoes, and I and I usually get asparagus too. So I'll put that in the miscellaneous, or you can label this as veggies. It's up to you. But you see how I'm just piecing, like I have a staple 3 things of protein, 3 staple carbs, 3 staple fats, and I'm mixing and matching these things to make my meals for the week. So I'm going to the grocery store with this list, and these are the things I'm shopping for to intentionally make these meals. And then all I'm doing is going in and plugging in my actual meals into the app, if that makes sense. That way, I'm not like when I go to the grocery store, I'm prepared. I know what I'm in there to get to actually prep these specific meals to go into my fitness pal so I can meet my specific goals, if that makes sense. So, and you'll find this, and I'll make sure that I'll pull it out and I'll make it, it's in the macro guide, but I'll pull it out for you, or you can just make your list like this. What are my protein, carbs, fat options for the week and anything else? And then go and fill in your whole entire day of eating. That's the best way to make sure that you are balancing it out and you're not going over any one area. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I'm trying to think, was there something else I wanted? I wanted to show you guys how to use a food scale so I can actually show you that. Oh, well, you guys, you said you've been using anyone, I can't remember. Anyone have questions about using a food scale? And I'll put this in the group. I'll also send it to you in direct message inside the group as well. No? Okay. All right, I'm here to answer your questions. At any point, I'm trying to see if there's anything else that I may have that I want to share with you guys. I would like for you guys to please post your meals going into this week. I know the first week we're trying to figure things out. I mean, honestly, the first 8 weeks, it's all a lot to figure out. But the only way that I'm able to best help you is for you to share with me what you got going on. So share with me your meal so I can give you feedback. Like, yeah, that's good. That works. Or, hey, that looks good, but let's alter it this way so that you can get the most out of it, so that we can get more protein. In order of importance, protein is super important. It is the most important. Well, let me say it's the second important. The first important thing is calories. Because like I said, if your goal is weight loss, or regardless of what your goal is, if you are over consuming the amount of calories your body needs in order for you to reach your goal, then it does not matter. You won't reach your goals because you're giving your body too much food. The reason why we look at macros, so first is just understanding your calorie goal. Next is knowing what your macro breakdown is. Now, everyone's macro breakdown is different because it's based on your age, your weight, your height, your activity level. It's based on any medical conditions you may have. And it's also based on your dietary preferences as well. But the macros, that's the makeup of the food. That's your protein, carbs, and fat. Protein is responsible for building muscle. It's also responsible for speeding your metabolism and helping you to feel full longer. The reason why protein is so important, especially as we get older, is because we are naturally losing muscle. Each of us. As we get older, you will naturally lose muscle. The only way for you to maintain or build muscle as we age is to, one, make sure you're giving your body enough protein. And again, your protein is based on, it's your weight. Your protein needs is based on a percentage of your weight. So for instance, as a woman, I usually don't prescribe over like 160 grams of protein max. And 160 grams of protein is hard to reach. You're going to need some supplementation, likely like a protein bar or protein shake or something like that. But I would say if you weigh, let's say 150 or under, then you can give yourself 1 gram of protein for every pound you weigh. So that's 150 grams of protein you would need. Hypothetically, I weigh 175. I will not eat 175 grams of protein. It's 175, and I times it by 80%. So that means I will need at least 140 grams of protein. If you are curious about your protein goal, please send me a direct message and I will get that number over to you, okay? Because protein is super important for, again, building muscle, speeding your metabolism, and making sure that you feel fuller longer, all right? Carbs are responsible for making sure that you are giving your body enough energy. So carbs is your body's primary and preferred source of energy. So that's why you need carbohydrates. So those who are on low carb diets, or maybe if you've ever done a low carb or no carb diet before, I'm pretty sure you have experienced your energy just plummet. That's because your body prefers carbs now for energy. And then healthy fats, those are provided to, or you need that to balance your hormones, to help regulate your hormones. And also, as you're eating foods and you getting all the nutrients and the vitamins in the foods, healthy fats helps your body to actually absorb the vitamins that you're getting in foods. Okay, let me see. I see something going on in chat. Is there any food scale that I recommend? I can send you a link. I get a very basic one from Amazon, and I'll just go ahead and send that in the chat real quick to you. Food scale. I've had my food scale probably for about 5 years. I think I changed the batteries once on it. Um, and it's like $10. Actually, it's on sale right now for $7.99. So I'm gonna send this to you. And all you need is the base. They have some really fancy ones that will you can sync to an app and you do all this stuff. You don't need that. You don't have to have that. If you like the bells and whistles, that's fine, but you just really need one that has the units of grams, milliliters, fluid ounces, and ounces. And that's it, like those 4 units. So I'll put that. Oh, that's a big link. Okay, it came through as a big link, but that is the food scale. Franciani, I see you have your hand up, honey.
Yeah, I have a question about the proteins, like the ones that are already made of, like those little bottles that you can find in at the stores.
Oh, like
What
like
is,
pre-made protein shakes?
yeah, like core and all those
Hmm.
protein shakes.
Yeah.
I want to know what's your thought on those.
Okay. So if I were going pre-made, actually I have one in the refrigerator. I'll show you. Give me one moment. Okay. So the ones that I frequent, I'll show you. If I was going pre-made, I do like OWN. I like this one because it is plant-based, and I go plant-based. Oh, my mom is calling. I go plant-based because as I got older, I somehow became lactose intolerant, like out the blue. Like I don't know what happened. But so I've noticed that a lot of protein shakes that are not plant-based, they bloat me and they make me feel miserable, gassy, etc. So if you have a lactose intolerance, I would definitely go on. This one has 32 grams of protein in it. It is the no nut butter cup flavor, which I love peanut butter flavor. Let me see, only 6 grams of carbs, 32 grams of protein, only 6 grams of fat. So this would be my one. Core is good. I've had it before, but I honestly I cannot remember the nutrition facts off the break. When I'm looking for protein shakes, I am looking for protein shakes that are low in carbs. There are some that are super high in carbs. If it's super high in carbs, like let's say 15 or more grams of carbs, likely it is high in sugar. Carbs break down to sugar. So if I see something that's high in carbs, especially if it's a pre-made shake or bar, I guarantee if you look at the sugar content, it's also high in sugar. And we really have to watch our sugar intake because according to the FDA, we're not supposed to have over 25 grams of sugar a day. This one only has dietary total sugars. This has 0 sugar in it. So that's why this OWN is my go-to. There's another one, Premier Protein Shake. I used to frequent that one. It's not dairy free. I do know that the protein intake was high and the carbs were low, if I'm not mistaken. I used to always frequent that one until it started hurting my stomach. But what I use more than anything is Formula One. They do not make any pre-made shake. This is a protein powder. Formula One is by First Form. They have some amazing flavors. So this one's salted caramel. My other favorite is salted peanut butter. And they have chocolate vanilla, key lime pie, everything. I need a shake that like tastes good. Like so when I take this, it's just one scoop. One scoop of it is 20 grams. It's only 110 calories in it, only 1 gram of carb and 1 gram of sugar in it. I take this out because it's low in carbs. I might put like a half banana in it or peanut butter, blend it with some ice and like some almond milk, and it is literally dessert. It is dessert. No chalky aftertaste. Um, no proteiny, like, you take certain protein juice, like, ugh, it tastes like that taste. No. So I love First Form. So if you are interested in, I think I may have showed you guys this before, um, maybe in one of the, maybe in my macro guide, I'm not sure. But if you are looking for a protein powder, a powder, I do recommend First Form. And if you do use my link for First Form, then I will incentivize you by we can do a one-on-one call to discuss your goals and I can set you on a track, or we can do a Zoom personal training session, or if you are interested in having your customized macros. So that's what I'm offering to any first-time buyers who are interested in Formula One or anything when it comes to First Form. I have protein shakes. We have magnesium powders, what I use, like so those who need help getting to sleep or winding down after a long day, I do use that. Multivitamins, etc. I'll leave a link if you are interested in that. Okay. Let me see. I think there were some questions I did not answer. Food scale. Okay, Puneet. Yep. So Puneet, I'll make sure that you get the video link to the food scale and how to read the nutrition labels. Because those nutrition labels is very eye-opening. So even stuff that you think is super healthy, or it is healthy, but once you put it into MyFitnessPal or macros first and you look at what is all in it, it will blow your mind. For instance, long story short, I went to have you guys ever been to what's that place called where you get the acai bowls raw? Pure raw. So they make acai bowls, and that's like with all the fruit, the granola, what else they put flaxseed and this and that. They kind of load up this bowl. It's like a superfood bowl. The bowl is small, y'all. Like if you're not sure what I'm talking about, it's a very small bowl, and it's healthy because it's all fruit and flax seeds and all this healthy stuff and nuts and things like that. But when I actually put it in, and I got the original, so I didn't get any bells and it was honey in it. I didn't get no bells and whistles and all this other jazz. I was like, just give me the original one in the smallest size you have. And man, when I went into macros first, and I put it in there because all of those ingredients add up. They all have their own nutritional value. When it added up, mind you, my calorie goal for the day is somewhere like around like 1750 or something like that for my caloric deficit. It came up to over 1,000 calories for that little bowl. So that means to put things into perspective, and oh, in the carb intake from everything that was in it had already well surpassed what my carb allowance was for the day. So it's just very eye-opening, and it goes to show that even though something is healthy, it does not mean that it fits within your goals. You will have to figure out how to fit it in. So the only way I was able to fit that little acai bowl into my macros and my calories so that it does not push me over. It does not push me out the deficit. I had to eat less than half of it. I was like, okay, this is crazy. Let me change it to not a whole serving of this bowl, a half serving of the bowl. And then I still barely made it. within my deficit range. So it just go you'll be surprised when you add everything up that you are consuming. You can it's very eye-opening. You'll be able to see like, okay, I see where I was going wrong. And if you think about nuts and almonds, a serving is literally like a few. And how much do we like mindlessly go grab almonds, go grab? It's easy to eat. They don't fill you up. They're good. It seems like, oh, this is fine. This is it's just a little bit. But it's just a little lick, a little bite, a little taste. Oh, only, it's no big deal. But if I were to literally add up, or you were to literally add up everything you consume, you'd be like, how the heck did that come out to be 700 calories? No way. But it happens just like that. So that's how easily you can go over. So food awareness is important. Tracking your food, at least tracking your calories is important because you either are eating within your goals and within your range, or you're overeating it. And if you are overeating and you're just like, man, I'm eating healthy, but technically you are overeating your calories for the day and you're constantly doing that, you get frustrated. Like, well, I'm doing everything, I think I'm doing everything right. Why isn't the scale changing? Why aren't I seeing progress? It said all those little things add up. So it's at least important to stay within your calorie goal, and to take it a step further, then you track your macros. Okay. And tracking your macros, like if you want to build muscle, you have to track your macros because you need that protein intake. If you want to lose body fat, you need to track your macros, meet that protein intake, and strength train because that is what you need to do to lose body fat. And again, I know we are all at different places. So if you have a question about where you are, and what you should do to get to your goals, please reach out to me. And like I said, if you are interested in purchasing any protein powders or anything from Formula One, I mean from First Form, then I will do a 30-minute consult call with you to get you on a track if that's what you're interested in. Okay. And I'll send you guys the link. And you can let me know if you want to do what we could do. And I do a lot of FaceTime personal training. So if you're like, hey, this is the equipment I have at home. How can I utilize it? I can get on, we can set up a 30 to 40-minute FaceTime or Zoom call. I see what equipment you have and I can show you how to utilize it. We can use that time face to face, however you want, whether it be a nutrition consult where we put you on a track, or hey, I just really want to focus on how do I use this equipment I have here. I can help you with that too. Okay. Any other questions? I know we are about to wrap up. Is there anything I can answer for you? Anything that will make your grocery shopping, meal prepping, time easier for you to take away
Crystal,
confusion? Yes.
I have a question. I understand sometimes we have busy mornings,
Hmm.
and is there something that we can take like a easy breakfast or something like that, or a breakfast on the go?
Like breakfast on the go. So some of the things I would do would be a shake. So whether it's a pre-made shake or you quickly blend up a shake in the morning, but I will make sure that if the carbs are low in the shake, that I'm adding some type of fruit in it. So that's typically easy or quick. I don't know if you like oatmeal. There are so many overnight oats recipes on Pinterest, Instagram. I'm not, well, Instagram if you're on Instagram, YouTube. So overnight oats is really good, a really good option. What else? I haven't done it in a while, but I used to make these egg bites. So I'll get a cupcake pan, maybe have like 6 to 12 different sections for cupcakes, but I'll take a whole egg or egg whites, crack it into each one, and then I'll put in some type of protein additional, like maybe it's like pieces of turkey bacon or turkey sausage, and I'll put in each one if I'm putting any peppers in each one. And what else I should use? Mushroom. But anyway, all to say is like pretty much I am making little egg bites, mix it up in there, and then put it in the oven. And that's an easy way to have like little egg cupcake. I forget what they call it. It's not quiche, but yeah. So that's easy. What are the type of things that you like to eat for breakfast? That'll be helpful to help give you some more ideas.
I eat eggs in the morning, and sometimes I will eat on the side I will eat yogurt and fruit.
Yogurt is good. Yep, fruit.
And some mornings I just would do a toast with either peanut butter or avocado.
Yeah, that works. That works. I would just make sure that you have some pro boiled eggs, if you like that, hard-boiled eggs. Just make sure you have protein in there. That is one of the most common things that we are typically, and I always see it, and even me too. It's a struggle. It's easy to get carbs in. Like it's like carbs in everything. That's easy. It's easy to get healthy fats, and for the most part, protein is the struggle. And again, that protein is calories are king. You got to make sure you stay within your calorie goals if you want to reach your goal. But next to that is protein. That's queen. So that's in order of importance. That protein is going to help speed your metabolism. Now, if you're whatever your goal is, weight loss, fat loss, weight gain, you want your metabolism to run efficiently. Protein is what does that, along with strength training, of course. And you guys are going to have workouts coming up to start this week, and then we're going to get into a 6-week workout regimen to start at week 3 from 3 to 8. But having protein at each meal, honestly, somewhere between 20 to 30 grams. Even if you want to just start with just tracking protein only, 20 to 30 grams of protein at each meal. That's 20 to 30 grams at breakfast. That's 20 to 30 grams for a snack, 20 to 30 grams at lunch and dinner. Because by the end of the day, I would like for you each, ideally, you would be at least 110 to 120 grams of protein because that is going to help to efficiently speed that metabolism, which helps overall with weight loss, fat loss, and also just, being healthier. Okay. Would it be helpful too? I don't know if any of you guys use Chat GPT. You can, and my husband just showed me 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh, I never tried this before. To actually take if you have your macros, take your macro goals, put it into Chat GPT and say, hey, can you help me come up with a 7-day meal plan following these macros, put in your calories, protein, carbs, and fats, following these macros. And you can also say, I don't like eggs, I don't like this, please exclude that. Or you can ask it to please include XYZ, and it will literally come up with a whole entire meal plan for you according to what you asked it and according to your goals. Oh, and then tell it to break this down into 3 to 4 meals a day. And it would do that. And I'm like, wow, AI is crazy. I wish I would have known about this back when I first, I guess maybe it wasn't popular then. But yes, you can utilize ChatGPT. And if you don't like it, you press refresh and it will repopulate it and come up with fresh ideas for you. So that's a way to do it. And if you have trouble with that, I can do it for you on my end and send it right on over to you. Yeah, it's wild. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. I was like, dang, and I know these students who are like currently in school, I don't know, they ain't work as hard as us maybe because we was in libraries all the time just trying to figure it out. Just trying to figure it out. Right now, we're just like, do, 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 do. And then I know they have like a AI track, like you could take your Chat GPT or whatever AI told you and then do another app that removes the detection and it's a lot. This new age stuff is crazy. But anyway, use it to your advantage for these for your meal plan and definitely you can tell it to make you a grocery list. You can say, hey, these are my macros. These are please make me a grocery list. I'll come up with some prompts and I'll send it to the group. Because that'll be helpful for me as well. It'll be helpful for all of us. Let me write that down. Come up with Chat GPT prompts. Chat GPT prompts for meal prepping. And like I said, having a air fryer is life-saving. A crock pot and a rice cooker. I don't have any, I know there are other different ways to cook, like different gadgets. But yeah, the air fryer and I have a double air fryer. So I'm like, okay, I'll cook shrimp on one side and I put my salmon in there too. They could be different heat levels. Pop them both in. I'm like, my meal prep, it would used to take me when I first started. I feel like I'm in there all day long, and it's daunting. Nobody want to be in the kitchen all day long, especially on a weekend when you want to relax. But having that air fryer and kind of just utilizing all these things, and I would like wash all the meat at one time, season it, put it to the side. Wash all the veggies, season it, put it to the side. Then I'll literally put the rice in the rice cooker, and then I'm like, okay, where's the salmon going? Boop, pop it in that side of the air fryer. Where's this shrimp going? Pop it in that side of the air fryer. Where is this chicken going? Throw that on the stove. Everything's happening at one time, and I go sit my butt down, and then I'll come check on it in about 15 minutes, and then I just divvy it out and put it into containers. Like it has become very simple. I'm a very lazy cook. Rotisserie chickens, I do that. Go and get a rotisserie chicken from Sam's or from anywhere. I'll take the skin off, but take all the meat out of that. I shop at Aldi. They have was it roasted chicken? But yeah, I'll do if it's cooked fresh and but just kind of pre-packaged for convenience. Yep, that works. You just gotta kind of find what works for you. Okay. But yes, yep, I will. Yeah, please exercise. Yep, I'll get you guys some Chat GPT prompts. All right. Any other questions before we hop off? Any dying questions? Are you guys going grocery shopping this weekend, or you already have things? You already have what you need? Okay. So today's lesson, real quick before we hop off, is about, I know we do have snow coming. 3 o'clock, I think. Something like that. I know they cancel. My son has a basketball game at 2, and they cancel all activities after 3. So, yay, snow, more snow. What was I getting ready to say? Um, darn, I forgot what I was about to say. Oh, today's lesson. Today's lesson is all about cleaning out your cabinets, cleaning out your freezers, setting your environment up for success. I know that, everyone in your household may not have the same goal as you. And that was very difficult for me in the beginning because my goal was to eat healthy and clean. My husband's metabolism is like the speed of lightning. He can eat whatever he wants and he just never gains weight, and it's frustrating and it's annoying, and we just could not we just not on the same page. And so there were certain things I needed, and he can go on and have the other things, but they were still in my environment. And in the beginning, it made it very difficult because they're still there. And I used to, be able to, well, I did not be able to eat them. I used to eat those things and not care what happened. I just ate them because out of emotion, out of habit, it tastes good. But all that to say is that you have to set your environment up for success. So if that means that if there are unhealthy foods in the house, or foods in the house that don't work for you, or foods in the house that trigger you, foods in the house that make you want to binge it, just any type of foods that's going to make you backslide, you can either, if it don't belong to you, put it in a cabinet, put it somewhere. Of course, you got to practice restraint, right? But you need to get it out your sight. Put it somewhere. Maybe there's a specific cabinet for that. and maybe, it's some kind of way it's out of your sight, or you throw it away. I've had so many of my friends and even clients, they be like, I gotta get rid of it, so that means I gotta eat it. No, you don't. You ain't gotta eat it. It happens all the time. It's like somewhere mentally we're just like, oh man, this was $4.99. I gotta just gotta eat the whole bag because I don't want to waste $4.99. It's like, listen, you could waste $4.99 or you could be miserable for the next 2 weeks because you ate that. Which is it going to be? So there are a few scenarios in today's lesson, but it's all about cleaning out your environment to set your environment up for success because it is very necessary. Before I was a personal trainer and nutrition coach, I worked at probation and parole. I was a probation officer for like 3 years. And my coworkers, we had like cubicle areas and they ate out literally every single day. And so early on, that's when I decided to start my journey after I had my son. It was very difficult because they were always inviting me places. They were always like, hey, Beverly, that was my maiden name. Hey, Beverly, we're going here. We're about to go to the taco place. We're going this place. We're going that place. And it was very hard to say no for a while until like I really stuck to my why. Why am I doing this? I understood that this is a personal journey and they're not on my journey. And so because they're not on my journey, they can go eat what they want. They on their own journey. But what is required for me is to stay focused and to get these foods out of my environment because they do not help me. They are stopping me from progressing and showing up as the best that I can show up. And so when you make it personal like that, then it becomes a little bit easier to say no to things because it's personal. That's why this whole first week is crucial because you really have to get personal with yourself and really say, you know what, I'm making myself a priority here. So all I have to say is they would invite me all these places. And at first, it was really hard to say no until I got to a point where I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to do it this time. This is about me. This is about being better for me. This is about being better for my child. This is about me wanting to be healthy for them. My mother was adopted. We have no idea what runs in our family. She just found her mother actually after 50 years. She found her on ancestry.com. My mother is a breast cancer survivor. She learned that her paternal mother is a breast cancer survivor, but we don't know what runs in the family. So that was something else that was a part of my why, where it's like I could be susceptible to so many different things, but and I can't control what runs in the family, but I can control what I put into my body to help me, just not get any closer to what I may be susceptible to, if that makes sense. So all that to say is that that environment that I was working in, no one ate healthy. I got a lot of jokes like, oh, Beverly, you eating air or whatever. All to say, set your environment up for success. Okay. Throw it away. Don't eat it. Throw it away or put it away or give it away. All right. So that's what your lesson today is about. All right. Let me see. You say your cat wants to be a part of the call. They're so cute. They're so cute. Okay. Yep. All right. We're going to hop off. But yeah, that's why you don't keep bread in the house. Yeah. Yep. If you got any trigger foods, you got any foods you know that you're gonna binge on, don't even set yourself up like that. Don't set it up. All right, y'all. So if you don't have any more questions, I'm going to hop off. I hope I was able to answer everything for you guys. I'll get those prompts to you and remind you to make your macro focused grocery list and also to pre-log all of your food if you are logging. Pre-log it ahead of time. Okay. All right. Yeah, no worries. You're welcome. All right, y'all. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday and don't bug out too much tomorrow for Super Bowl. And all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Talk to you guys later.